The automatic doors at Henderson's Market barely slid open before the piece shattered like glass. I'm talking a shriek so sharp it felt like someone had stuck a cattle prod in my ear. This is unacceptable. I demand to speak to whoever's in charge, and right then I knew it was going to be one of those afternoons. I'd spent 3 years at that grocery store, 27 years on Earth, and let me tell you, I can spot a Karen from half a football field away. But nothing in my customer service experience or basic human survival instincts prepared me for what was about to happen. See, the noise was coming from the customer service desk, and the source was a woman in her 50s clutching a bag of beef jerky like it was Exhibit A in a homicide trial. The bag was leaking some dark, syrupy mess all over our freshly mopped tiles. Before I even made it over, the smell hit me a perfect cocktail of rotting meat, gym socks, and existential dread. Customers were scattering hands over their noses. One kid actually gagged and ran for the exit. So, there I am, already regretting clocking in when I step up and introduce myself, ma'am. I'm Travis, assistant manager. How can I help you today? She whirls on me, and now I'm face to face with the infamous Cheryl Dobbins. Though back then I just saw a hot pink wine plus a clock t-shirt, oversized designer purse, and bleach blonde hair so stiff it looked like it might snap. Her face was twisted up with a level of rage I'd only ever seen in movies where someone finds out they've been living a lie for 20 years. Finally, someone with authority, she spits. Actually spits little flecks flying out as she slams the jerky down so hard that more of the whatever it was splattered across the counter. This jerky nearly killed me, she declared, her voice rattling the register. I bought it here last week. Opened it yesterday, it was rancid. The smell alone made my cat pass out. I demand a full refund, a replacement, and compensation for my emotional distress. I peeked at the label, fighting the urge to just pass out. Frontier Jack's Mega Jerky, it said in a font that screamed, "Graphic design is my passion." The packaging looked like something a bored middle schooler would make in computer lab. "Ma'am, we don't carry this brand at Henderson's Market," I said as calmly as I could, eyes watering from the stench. "We only stock Slim Jim and Jack Links." At this point she went purple like cartoon character purple. "Don't you dare lie to me. I shop here every week. It's a nationwide brand. Every store carries Frontier Jacks. It's practically a constitutional right." I'm telling you, her logic was bulletproof. I pulled up our inventory just to prove it. No Frontier Jacks, not now, not ever. She wasn't having it. "Are you calling me a liar? I've shopped here since before you were born." "Fun fact, store's only been open 15 years. I bought it from that aisle." She pointed to aisle 7 with such dramatic flair you'd think there were TV cameras rolling. "And you will give me my money back." I asked for her receipt. "Oh, buddy, wrong move." She let out a laugh that sounded like a hyena on Red Bull. "Receipt. I don't keep receipts for every little thing. That's why there's customer service to serve the customer." Now she was going full performance art voice, carrying through the store, drawing a crowd of shoppers who were obviously only sticking around to see how bad it'd get. I tried one last time, no receipt, no record, no refund. But I offered her the number for Frontier Jack's customer service if that even existed. She was already storming off to aisle 7, grabbing packages, waving them around like a deranged food inspector. "Look at this!" she shrieked, holding up a totally normal Jack Links package. Expired. It wasn't. Then a Slim Jim damaged packaging. It wasn't. This entire store is a health hazard. You're poisoning Cedar Hollow. At this point, sweat was soaking her wine plus a clock shirt. The spectacle was getting out of hand. And then, like divine intervention, Linda, our senior cashier, stepped in. 68 years old. More backbone than the rest of us combined. "That's the same woman who tried to return a turkey last summer," she hollered, voice slicing through Cheryl's rant. "Brought it in raw in July, claimed she'd bought it at Christmas, thing still had ice on it." The crowd murmured. Didn't she try to return a birthday cake too? Someone whispered. Cheryl, realizing the crowd was turning double down. That was different. You people don't keep proper records, but she was losing steam. So she went nuclear, tore open the Rancid Jerky bag. The smell got even worse, if that's possible. She pulled out a chunk that looked like soggy cardboard and, swear to God, shoved it in her mouth. The store went dead quiet. Then she spit it out onto the floor, dry heaving loud enough to win an Oscar. See? It's inedible. I could have died. Now she's pointing at me, screeching, I'm calling the health department. The news. My lawyer. You'll be shut down by the end of the week. Phones were everywhere, recording her meltdown. I kept my cool on the outside anyway. Ma'am, you just admitted you didn't eat the jerky until now, so you weren't poisoned. Also, you brought that in here. If anything, you just contaminated our store. That short-circuited her for a second, but then she roared back, How dare you? The customer is always right. Then she chucked the bag of jerky at me hard. And that's when karma did her thing. The bag, probably rotten all the way through, exploded not on me but all over Cheryl. Rancid meat juice splattered her shirt, her hair, her face. You could practically see the stink lines. People laughed, some gagged. One of our teen employees even clapped until his manager gave him a death stare. Cheryl just stood there covered in rot, completely stunned for the first time since she barged in. I grabbed the intercom. Clean up on aisle 7, I said, locking eyes with her. And aisle 6, and maybe aisle 8. Actually, just bring the whole mop bucket. Someone snorted with laughter. Cheryl's face ran the color spectrum red-white, then kind of a queasy green. This is assault, she sputtered. You threw that at me. I gestured to the crowd. Ma'am, you threw it at me. We've got 40 witnesses and 10 phone videos. People nodded. One guy flashed a thumbs up. I'm calling the police! She screamed, fumbling for her phone with sticky fingers. Please do. I told her I'll need to file a report about you bringing hazardous materials into the store and assaulting an employee. Linda piped up. Already called Honey, told him we got a customer creating a biohazard. Cheryl looked around, finally realizing she had zero backup. Customers edged even farther away, not wanting to be part of the fallout. Minutes later, the cavalry showed up, 2 cops, both immediately wincing at the smell. What in God's name is that, one asked. That, I said, is the rancid beef jerky she brought in and threw at me. She's demanding a refund for a product we don't carry and got violent when I couldn't help her. Cheryl, bits of jerky falling from her hair, started shrieking about being sold poison food. Arrest them for attempted murder, the older cop sighed. Ma'am, did you purchase this here? Cheryl hesitated. Well, I must have. Where else would I get it? I showed the inventory records, no Frontier Jacks. Ma'am, I'm going to need you to come with us. You're being cited for disturbing the peace, creating a public health hazard and assault. Her jaw dropped. He assaulted me. The officer calmly pointed out all the witnesses and phones. You threw it first. That's assault. The fact that it splattered back on you, that's poetic justice. As they led her out, she kept screaming she'd own the store. Her brother-in-law's a lawyer. The automatic doors closed, but her voice echoed from the lot. I just stood there surrounded by the great jerky incident's wreckage, eyes watering. Linda came over, shaking her head. You handled that well, Travis. We're going to need to fumigate, though. I was already reaching for emergency cleaning gear. Out of curiosity, I asked if that turkey story was true. Linda grinned. Every word. She once tried to return a Halloween costume in December, said it was defective, because she didn't look like the package picture. We laughed just as the store manager showed up looking at the mess. Do I even want to know? I started explaining, pulling up the security footage, which thank God caught the whole thing in HD. 2 days later, Cheryl had her day in court. She cleaned up okay, traded the wine plus a clock shirt for something that screamed, retired yacht club reject. But the judge, Patricia Garrett, wasn't impressed. Ms. Dobbins, you're charged with disturbing the peace, creating a public health hazard assault, and filing a false report. How do you plead not guilty? This is a conspiracy. That store's been selling rancid products for years. The prosecutor played the security video. The whole courtroom watched her pitch the jerky, get splattered, then claim assault. Someone snickered in the back. The judge just shook her head. Ms. Dobbins, the video clearly shows you initiated the contact. Cheryl tried the poison jerky angle, but the prosecutor pulled out a lab report. Actually, Your Honor, it wasn't poison, just expired by 7 years. The manufacturer went out of business in 2016. This couldn't have been purchased at Henderson's last week because it hasn't existed since before our inventory system went in. The judge rubbed her temples. Ms. Dobbins, I'm finding you guilty on all charges. 300 hours community service cleaning public spaces. Maybe some time dealing with real garbage will give you perspective. Also, $3,000 to Henderson's Market for cleanup and a 2-year ban from the premises. Cheryl's face went pale. $3,000. They had to close the entire section for hazmat cleaning. Rancid meat juice is a biohazard. Cheryl wailed, but I'm the victim. The gavel came down. No, Ms. Dobbins, you weaponized expired meat. Court dismissed. Last I saw her, she was getting escorted out of court, still promising to appeal all the way to the Supreme Court. The judge just muttered, make that 400 hours community service. And standing there afterward, all I could think was, sometimes justice really does get served cold. So what do you think? Was that fair? Ever had to deal with someone like Cheryl? Drop your wildest customer service stories or thoughts on justice down in the comments. Can't wait to hear what you'd have done in my shoes.